word of the day.
Saw Ed O'Neill telling a
Great word of the
Chris
day.
Farley story.
Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, where he had like gotten out of rehab, had like a day pass to come watch the Super Bowl.
Oh, nice.
And it was at John Lovitz's house. And
John Lovitz.
Who's in this movie?
he had like a big spread out and everything. And Chris comes in late and he's like, "What are you doing here, Farley? I thought you were in rehab. Aren't you supposed to be working on yourself? You look fatter than ever." All this stuff. And he's like trying to put a plate together really fast, and he's like just giving him a hard time. And Ed goes, "Okay," so we go in and close the door and waiting for the game to start. And I'm looking around. Where's Chris? It's not in here. I think he like had a plate together. He said that he had taken like an Italian hoagie roll and like cut it in half and put everything he could pile on there. And then he took John Lovitz's cat and he put the cat between the two pieces of bread, and he comes in the room with the cat freaking out between the bread, and he's like, "I'll eat whatever the hell I want." Like, Jesus. Oh God, that's crazy.
I heard they're going to make Sandler's working on like a life of Farley or something, and he's been searching for someone who he trusts to portray.
Can be Chris.
Chris, yeah. Someone said, you know, it'd be hilarious. They said to make Chris Rock do it. Actually, just make Chris and like no one address anything that Chris Rock is black and Chris Farley was white
and like 150 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, at best. Yeah,
not even.
Not even. No. My favorite Chris Farley story that Mike Myers told is after most episodes, like he would go up, watch the band. And then usually he was done at the end of the show, and he would, after the band would play, he'd say goodbye, and he'd go back to his dressing room, and it's this tiny little box shower. He'd take a shower, and he's like, I could barely turn around in there. And he's like, almost every weekend that I did that, Mike Myers showering, he said, all out of nowhere, Chris would come into my dressing room, into the shower. He'd be completely naked, and he would throw back the curtain and go, "Oh, Mike Myers, I'm such a fan." And he would try to get in the shower with him. And he's like, this thing was bigger than like a closet, like a foot closet. You couldn't fit two people, let alone Chris Farley and Mike Myers all together.
Funny.
And he's running there naked. He's like trying to get away from it. Like Chris is like, "No, Mike, love me."
At least he was so big that he probably wasn't touching you with anything.
Yeah. It's a safety. It's a safety guard.
He hadn't seen it for years.
It's for now it's legally deed. I haven't seen my willy in 3 years.
I'm so fat. I'm unhappy because I eat.
Eating.
I eat because I'm unhappy.
I went on the Zoon.
It's a vicious cycle.
Like,
carbs are the enemy, not like carbs.
Don't like carbs. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of Nostalgialand. Super excited to be here because this is like, we got 2 movies in a row that are classics, like really well done movies. Hard to make fun of because it's just they're so good, but there are some elements and some things that are, I think, problematic now in a 2025, year mindset of, what we know,
The
what
hindsight
we don't know.
lens on it.
Only the soft people.
Yeah. only the weak.
Yeah. You gotta understand comedy.
Yeah. If you
It's just a joke,
if
people.
you grew up in the 90s, I think you got a little tougher skin,
It's true.
maybe a little bit. Except
I mean, we lived in a harsh world back then, I guess.
we did. We survived Y2K, 9/11, the first Bush administration.
You mean
I'm not gonna go there.
You mean the
dude.
Cheney
No.
administration?
Yeah. What's that thing from Family Guy Trailer? He's like, "Oh, remember that Laura Bush killed a guy." That's right, Laura Bush killed a guy.
They stare down the barrel of the camera.
Yeah, just Peter.
No, my favorite when they make fun of George Bush is like, "Mr. President, there's been a terrorist attack. Go away." No, there was a giant hurricane. It hit New Orleans. You have to help these people. He's like, "Don't make me do stuff. I'm up here reading Supervised."
That's it. He's like in a clubhouse.
Yeah, he's in a clubhouse at his parents' house.
The secret agent has to climb up the ladder to Mr. President. And he's like, go away.
Could you imagine though if you're George Bush and you have no like outside knowledge of this happening, and they come in and they're like, "Mr. President, plane has just hit the White House. I mean the twin, one of the twin towers. We believe that it's a terrorist attack." And he's like, "I ran on education." You know what I mean? Like,
This wasn't my war.
he jumped on a plane, got in the air.
Yeah.
Dick Cheney went to work. Like he was like, "All right, we're gonna kill everybody.
Everything dies.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make a buttload of money.
Dick Cheney was like Mr. Burns.
Yes.
Excellent.
like this. Excellent.
He's like, get every country music star on the phone. We need anthems.
If
we're gonna put a boot in your ass. It's the American
R.I.P. to
way.
that guy.
Oh, Toby K. Toby Keith. Yeah,
we love you.
he had some
Toby
good
Keith.
songs.
All right. So this week,
Anyways,
we'll be covering the Tom Hanks vehicle. Big.
It's big.
Love big.
Is it big enough? No, it could be bigger because you
It's just-
bought the extended DVD.
From the
Yeah, a long time ago.
from the
This is Blu-ray and DVD in the same box. That's how old it is.
you were talking about the 2025 hindsight lens. His name is Baskin.
Baskin. Like
Carol
Baskin.
Carol
Baskins.
Baskin.
Oh, Carol Baskin. Oh my
Killed
gosh.
her husband.
Whacked
Whacked. Fed him
I will
tigers.
It-
Snacking.
This
Can't convince me that shit didn't happen.
happened.
Oh my god, wait, this
Carol
is
Baskin.
What?
You didn't hear this?
I've never heard this
Goes
rap.
like
Because
that.
it came out in 2020, and that song in
Oh my
2020 was
gosh,
like, "I'm a
dude.
savage,
Savage.
ratchet, bougie, whatever." And it was
Yeah.
like,
Whatever.
yeah, I don't even know the real
I was
song.
trying to jump in on there. I'm like, I don't know the words. I'm so glad that you ended on whatever because I had no idea of the words.
But Baskin.
Yeah, Carol.
Bash.
I mean, it's a better
Baskin.
version anyway.
It sounds like a better version. Did you guys catch Super Bowl last night? Did you watch it all? Did you watch it all?
They got boat raced.
Oh, yeah,
the
like at the
Chiefs
beginning,
got
yeah.
boat raced.
Yeah. It was
Wait,
rough.
time out.
What?
What is boat raced?
Boat raced is a baseball term.
I have not heard boat raced. How
I'm
have I
just-
lived all my life without hearing boat raced?
I was taking, first rule of improv, just rolling with it, but I'd love an answer
Yeah,
too.
I
Actually.
mean,
So,
I'm-
boat raced.
I'm just surprised that I've never heard it. I played baseball. I've been around baseball my whole life. I've never heard boat raced.
I've seen a field.
I feel out of touch.
I've held a glove.
You're out of touch.
So
You're out of time.
so boat raced.
Yeah, boat raced is a term like when like one team puts a beat down on another team. It's like
Like,
getting
yeah.
boat raced.
I figured that. I was wondering more about the etymology.
Yeah.
I want to figure out how
See, I
that
know
relates
words.
to boats.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do they float? They don't float. Maybe they don't. No, they sink. They also float, but they race.
okay.
We're gonna
so
get somewhere with
Big was directed by Penny Marshall, which I did not know until we started researching this. I don't know how I didn't know that, but super awesome, like hilarious comedic actress from Laverne and Shirley fame.
Oh, that's yes. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, man,
Schlemiel.
that name is
Schlemazel.
House of Pepper Incorporated, doing it our way.
It's my favorite part of Wayne's World.
I was just gonna say, you know where I know that song from? Wayne's World. And when they do the whole bit, they like put the glove, they
Yes.
wave as it goes away. Yeah, Trey knows exactly what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
I gotta. We haven't done Wayne's World, have we?
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Real quick before boat race comes from in reference to the University boat race of Oxford and Cambridge.
Oh.
The premise being that when one team gets in front of the other early and occupies the middle of the river, they rarely ever lose and just run away to victory.
Okay.
Run
So,
away to victory.
So the Eagles got out 7 and they said, "Suck it.
Bye. And how about their defensive line that said, "Hey, we're going to do it all"?
Hey, we're gonna rush 4 and good luck."
How many times did they end up sacking him?
Dude,
A lot.
6 or 7,
I
wasn't
think
it?
it was like 6.5.
Something. It was ridiculous
I
amount
saw
of
some
times.
stat that the Chiefs didn't pass the 50 till like 4 minutes left in the second
Dude,
quarter.
I mean, I don't hate the Chiefs. They were annoying this year because it really did feel like the refs were helping them.
Yeah, there was
Because
yeah.
of the whole T-Swift nonsense. And I figured, I didn't know that the Eagles are going to win because the Chiefs are a very amazing football team and Patrick Mahomes is a very gifted quarterback. But they turned off the ref help. And that shit went to
they
pieces
forgot
on
to
them.
put the
They
cheat
didn't
code
put
in.
that code.
They
in.
forgot to put the cheat
Someone
code.
took the game genie out and just threw that away.
They're like, up, down, down. What is it again?
Shit, I fucked up.
So there's times where I'm listening to these episodes, and the way you set some things up like that, in my mind, I'm picturing you like loading a gun, just real slow. It's like,
And they're
hello,
great.
Patrick
They're just
Mahomes, they're
freaking-
great. They did this. However,
Dicks. I try to paint a picture.
yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's beautiful. No, but I thought, dude. So I sent you guys that meme on Instagram because it was. I was like, man, that we used to be a country when Creed did the halftime show, and it's like broad daylight, like when they didn't like think about, oh yeah, this is a show. Like,
Yeah.
we could put this on. This could get nominated for Emmys, and they're like, it's really stupid looking
Grammys.
in broad daylight. No, it's a production, so they can.
Oh, it is an
can
Emmy,
be,
yeah,
it
that's
could be
true.
nominated for an Emmy. And then like I was like, dude, and Bruno Mars with Red Hot Chili Peppers a few years back, whatever that was, probably like 10 years back. But yeah, I was like, dude, did anyone else like Kendrick Lamar?
It's really
like,
funny
Coldplay.
because there's a section of the population that thought it was just the best thing ever.
Kendrick, yes, because
People
of,
just like that he clowned on Drake.
yeah.
That
Like-
he actually played the
like-
song.
Ridiculous.
Well, the craziest part
Went
to
in on
me
Drake.
is that Serena Williams was
he had her crip walking.
whose older sister was killed by Crips.
Well,
Wait, one of
she
them's
was
The older half sister, not Venus or Serena.
dead? Okay.
so she was Drake's ex.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he had her crip walking on stage as he's singing a diss track about Drake.
About Drake.
And when it comes to the part where he calls him a pedo, he looks right down the camera.
Yes.
Like, dude, their beef is like,
Oh, did you catch the reference of the chain he was wearing? It
yeah,
was
the A minor.
A minor. I just the whole stadium lit up for that like part right there.
The whole world
Yeah.
that knows that
lyric.
song.
Yeah, but then it's funny because like I
Should
was
have been
seeing
Little
people
Wayne.
posting.
It should have been Little Wayne.
I would have enjoyed that.
Little Wayne's great. I
It
saw
was in
people
New
posting.
Orleans. He's from New Orleans.
Oh, that would have worked. Like that would have worked great because like,
think
I was
a
like,
lot of
who else
people-
is from New Orleans? I was like, Dave Matthews, I think is.
Hurtin',
Like, yeah. What if they like did something like from a trippin' Billy's and they like sit down, be humble, and like started getting like I was like, oh man, that would have been great. That would have just smashed together those two.
I think a lot of people just say no to the Super Bowl halftime show. And that's their problem.
Yeah, it is 10 minutes of it's a hard 10 minutes too, and you don't get paid a lot, is what I hear.
Right.
To do so. Well, I saw videos people posting from like up in the stands, like while it's going on, and they're all like everyone's looking at their phones. Like some people nodding their heads a little bit, and then like the A minor part comes up, everyone goes, A minor, and then they go right back to their phones. And it's just like, dude,
What was
we
your
could've just
dad?
had
What was your
Taylor do
dad's
it, too.
profession? A minor.
Oh, dude, all this stuff is crazy. It's it's like I felt like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial was
That was
like
great TV.
was the precursor to this. Like we need a fun trial again. Like this is too serious. Like we need some weird bullshit trial. Like we're like this is all
Like,
for fun, right?
where you have a jar of cocaine.
Yeah. Or he's like, so you went and you poured yourself a mega pint
A megapint.
of wine. Mega pint.
The mocking, just the mockery.
Johnny
And when-
Depp.
I forget the one guy that was on the stand and he's being like questioned by Amber Heard's attorney.
Yeah.
It's
The
just,
guy from TMZ.
yeah. Well, I forget what happened, but he just makes a total fool out of her.
Some
Yeah.
could say that you're a witness in this trial for all the national exposures. The same can be said for you taking Amber Heard as a client.
Yeah.
He was like, what are you
just nasty. Like, oh, that's embarrassing.
That's a sassy gay boy right there.
Oh, you need a Band-Aid,
Yeah.
I think, because
You need some aloe because that burns a bit.
that burns a bit.
Somebody get the aloe vera.
Okay, so big with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, anything he says is
You wanna
sick.
jump off with some fun facts?
Oh, please.
All right. So when they first put this movie together, it was written by Ann Spielberg, who's Steven Spielberg's sister.
I was like,
and
that's
Steven
there's a fun
Spielberg is
fact.
her brother, and I can't remember Guy something or Gus something.
Yeah.
They wrote it together, and there was no movies really out about like a teenager wanting to become an adult. There's like an Italian film that it seems like one of them had seen this movie. It's very close to that movie, but who cares? So they wanted Tom Hanks when they were writing it. They had Tom Hanks in mind, but Tom Hanks the 80s were very busy for Tom. He did The Burbs. He did Bachelor Party.
Yeah.
Turner and Hooch, was that in the
Turner and
movie?
Hooch. He was filming Turner and Hooch when they approached him about this movie, and he said no because he was so busy. So then they approached a bunch of people. Warren Beatty said no.
Ooh, Warren Beatty.
Yeah, it was weird. So there a lot of people said no. I know that Sean Penn they looked at, but he was too young, they felt. And Gary Busey, but they felt like he was too kooky and out there, because of the buttered sausage. But
Sorry, this movie is a completely different movie.
yes.
Gary
With
Busey?
Gary Busey,
Yes.
Yeah.
dude.
So then they get to their
He doesn't
yes
work.
man.
He works for a tobacco company, not a toy company.
They get to their yes man. Who's their yes man? Robert De Niro.
Really?
Wow.
Robert De Niro was on to do this movie, and they were going to rewrite it. Basically, he was going to be like a tougher, harder guy. He wasn't going to be as funny and as cute. It was so into the role because he wanted to break his image of always being the tough guy and playing like gangsters and
mafia,
cops and all that stuff. That the friend, the young friend, I can never remember actors' names.
Rusty? Or?
Yeah, but he hung out with him a bunch to like develop a rapport with him. They played basketball. They went skateboarding. Could you imagine being like that time and you're just hanging out with Robert De Niro skateboarding? Like this is weird.
It was like wherever we go, we just seem to get free pizza. Yeah. Like we just walk into any Italian restaurant
and they're like $40 for pizza.
Robert, Bobby,
pizza.
That's it.
They got a little bit of pizza.
So Jerry Rushton, who plays his best friend Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
Another great actor. Home Alone. I mean,
fantastic.
he basically was the Home Alone kid. He's basically that in every movie that he's in.
Yeah.
Like
Wait,
not Home Alone. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah,
Shrunk the
Russ.
Kids. Yeah, Russ is Russ. Like he's basically just that kid.
I was just rolling with it.
Yeah, sorry,
was
you
like-
did.
I'm glad you said who because I was
I was
like,
like,
what?
I don't think it's in Home Alone.
I kept saying-
There is a Home Alone cameo here.
Yes, I kept saying Home Alone because of John Hurd, who
Mr.
plays
McAllister.
the dad who plays Mr.
Father.
McAllister. Which I was thinking, I was like, this would line up though in his
in
timeline.
Chicago.
He's in Chicago. He's already like super head of like
No,
some
wait.
corporation. Like
Are
he's
they-
up there, right?
Are they in Chicago? New York.
No, yeah, they're in New York.
Oh, New York. That's
because
right.
they
He's
live
a
in New
Giants
Jersey
fan.
and they go into the city.
He would have moved to Chicago after this guy Josh Baskins comes in.
No, after he gets dumped by.
Gets dumped,
Right.
Loses his position, and then that guy disappears. Who else? Like they're
That's-
probably thinking, dude, he murdered Josh Baskins, and so like he's like, I gotta leave town,
That's where Kevin becomes a sociopath.
and that's where Kevin gets his.
I hate you so
Because
much.
it's just Carol Baskin, baby.
Every
It's just-
single time he
just
says the name
Carol
now.
Baskin, baby. That's all I thought about when I was rewatching the movie. I was like, dude, this is Tiger King.
I watched this one. I watched this movie twice. I told Matt before you got here that I had a really busy week. I wasn't able to watch the movie as many times as I normally do, but never thought about it once.
Oh, dude, it's
and
still-
now every single time you say her name, I'm like,
My bad. I should have waited till the end of the
really
episode.
funny. It's really funny.
You can rap the whole thing at the end rather than we'll play the outro music and just be you rapping the whole thing and I'll let it go. So be ready for that. All right. But it's a great setup. It's really cute. It's just the first like good 15 minutes of the movie is just playing up Josh and Billy's relationship. They're best friends. You know, they're just doing tons of great 80s,
He
late
likes
80s,
the
90s
girl.
things.
Likes the blonde girl.
Likes the blonde girl.
Updo.
He's a cute kid. He's sensitive, but he's like, he's just a grown boy, living his life, doing his thing. But they could not have picked a better child actor or a better adult actor. Like their relationship, like the physical, like and how they both respond to like their lines and the way they say them. Like Tom Hanks does an amazing job at being that kid, and I feel like that kid kind of mimics some of the Tom Hanks's like mannerisms a little bit, like the way like he kind of shakes his head and stuff.
A little behind the scenes facts.
Hit me.
So what they would do is they would use the kid to film the scenes that Tom Hanks would be in. Tom Hanks would watch him in the scenes and then step in and try to behave as
no way.
Josh, the younger Josh, would behave because they wanted him to be a 13-year-old in a 35-year-old man's body, not the other way around.
They rigged this. You don't have to put any quarters in. It's free.
Dude, I like how they did that. That
How
was-
microwave work.
That's like one of my favorite parts of the movie, but we'll get there.
Well, yeah, okay. So they're set up. They go through their whole town, their
They
school.
go to the carnival
yeah,
in
Carnivals in town.
New York.
They're in New Jersey.
Yeah,
They go to New York though, right? For the carnival?
No.
They go to Jersey.
yeah.
No,
It's
they live in Jersey.
Right. Where do they go for the carnival?
Jersey.
Oh,
somewhere in
okay.
Jersey. It looked
Yeah,
like
they
Jersey.
don't go to the city until he becomes big.
Got it. And so then he wants to ride the loop-de-loop ride.
Yeah.
Because the girl's gonna ride it.
He's He sees that chicken, he just starts shoving people through that
He
line.
when he takes off his shark hat.
And his dad's wearing like a
Gator
fish hat or a
yeah.
crab hat.
Oh, it's great, dude. Yeah.
And he's trying to do the strongman thing where you ring the bell and he can't do it.
Wimpy.
He kept one more try. One more try.
Yeah, he says one more try. I can't end on wimpy. That's what he says. It's very quiet, but it's there.
You can end on hefty, but not with
No, hefty.
hefty.
Hey, man.
Whippy.
Hey,
Wow.
short
Nice.
kings out there, you'll have your day. You get your days out there, man. Like
It's my favorite.
he came. She's a whole head taller than him. This,
Yeah, the
this
hair
other actress.
helps.
Yeah, the hair, the big hair. Yeah.
The Marcello or whatever, that guy that was on Only in Dade and then ended up on Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite skit where he's
Domingo.
like talking about short kings on the Weekend Update.
Yeah.
And he's like, us short kings, Colin. He's like, I'm not short. I'm 6'1". And he's like, okay, sure, buddy. Like he's like, and then at the end he's like, all right, stand up with me. Stand up. Go back to back. And he's like, I can't. Why not? Because I'm already standing. And he's only like, that's all. That's really
awesome.
funny.
Oh, that's great.
But it's kind of creepy that she's there with like a 17-year-old boy.
Is it?
Well, she's
16.
she's the older sister of a kid in their grade.
Oh,
So
so
she's
it's not
old-
that creepy.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
explain it well in the extended version. I watched the beginning of it, but it's like way longer, so I was like, I can't have time.
It's like a 3-hour movie.
So maybe something, but a lot of you gotta remember a lot of the movies are cut because it breaks the flow.
Yeah.
So like in the beginning when he's playing the computer game with the ice wizard, that's very drawn out, and he like dies, he gets frozen in a block of ice and all this stuff, but it's like drawn out, and then they move his kid's sister into the room with him. It's just like the pacing's off. It breaks it up. So Penny Marshall did a great job, and the editors did a great job of putting this movie together where which most movies are done like that, where it's like, hey, we filmed a ton of crap. Let's cut the bad stuff out or the pacing stuff out, where it's like, could have been good.
I had to say too, because it's like, so we watched the extended cuts of all the Lord of the Rings on HBO, and my
Awesome.
wife, I was excited because she's like, "Do you ever watch these?" And I was like, "I haven't in like 10 years. Do you want to watch them now?" And she's like, "Yeah, I guess." And so we started going. She kept getting into it. She's like, "Well, I got to see what happens. I got to see what happens." And then finally, like hour 2.5, 3 in the Two Towers, she goes, how many hours of this movie is just walking?
Yeah.
Like, do you realize like how many scenes we're just watching people walking
or run. They
or
run.
running from orcs? Yeah, that's true. But I was like, dude, like, it's just like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. She's like, can we, every time there's a scene of walking, can we just, I was like, no, because then you're not going to hear the music. And it's important to hear
It's important to the story.
music. Yeah, it's important.
I
to
will
me.
say that they cut out one of the coolest scenes.
In Big or Lord of the Rings?
in I think it's Return of the
You
King.
talking about the mouth of Sauron?
Like the coolest
Yeah.
Oh,
scene.
yeah,
That
the thing
guy
with the-
looks incredible.
Yeah.
And then the way Aragorn just like whack cuts his head clean off.
I don't believe it.
Like somebody.
Oh,
will
such
not.
a great scene.
Viggo Mortensen, it's again casting.
Hey, did you guys know he broke his toe when he kicked the orc over?
He really screamed.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that guy does. One of my favorite things on YouTube is when they overdub like any of the orcs with like regular people's voices.
Hey,
And so
man
it's like,
flesh.
Yeah, it's like, what is it? What do you smell? Man flesh.
They've picked up. Oh no, they've picked up our trail. Oh, my
man.
gosh.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
All right, Steve, let's go.
Someone said run. We got to run for 4 days.
So he can't get on the ride, and he's depresso espresso
yeah.
because homegirl's there with
Dude, he's so nervous
with douchebag
that
McGee.
all he can say is the word yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You here with your parents?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are they? Yeah. Like, what?
Sweet kid, dude.
You gonna pass out? Yeah.
And she asks him, have you ever
been on this before?
And he's like, yeah.
Is it scary? Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets embarrassed because the guy she's there with walks
dude.
up, and I think she even says like he could drive.
Yeah,
like,
he drives.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he goes to the front of the line, and the guy's like, "Hey, buddy, where you going? Got to be this tall." So not only does she know that he was lying about riding the ride, but now he's too short to go on the ride. So embarrassing.
I've never met such a safety conscious carny in my life.
He
Have you
can't
ever
even
met-
escape
Can't get in
into
trouble.
fear.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't make the rules. Sorry, buddy, you can't go. I was
try
like,
a
bro, like
He's like, you know how much crack I've smoked today? I got to get you out of here.
I need you to move. It's almost meth o'clock.
That's right. Time's a ticket. Time's a ticket.
It's yellow
and my
2:30.
veins need a nicking. All right. so he wanders off. He's
And
sad.
he finds the Zoltar machine.
If you saw this thing sitting in an empty parking lot, the red flags would go off.
25
right? Like,
cents.
I'm not walking up to that.
Just 25 cents.
Yeah, but
Back then, that's a lot of money.
that was a lot of money. That was almost
had
a
it-
home.
he
You
had
could
it
put
in
that
his-
as a down payment.
He had it in his pocket.
It was there, but no. If you saw that thing just sitting in a corner, like you really, I'm avoiding that one. That doesn't look right.
He had a wish.
Yeah.
He needed it granted.
Make a
did.
wish,
And
win a prize.
No,
Guess Goofy's weight. Win a prize.
114 pounds?
No, that's too low.
and this other stupid show, Gravity Falls, where they're like, guess the pig's weight, keep the pig. And he goes, I'll guess that one. And he goes, oh, number 120 poundy, eh? Well, let's put her up there. And she goes, is he 120 pounds? And he's like, are you a witch?
That's funny.
So he throws a quarter in Zoltar and he gets pissed at it because it doesn't work immediately. Like
He's like punching the shit.
beat
out
the
of it.
shit out of Zoltar.
He's taking his frustrations out.
And this thing,
He's taking his day out on it.
yeah, he's like, fucking can't go on that ride, carny shit.
Saw how good looking that guy who could drive is.
This is bullshit.
He's at least 17 and I'm 13. Yeah. No.
And then you had to feed Zoltar the quarter.
Yeah, and this thing, but it immediately starts glowing red eyes and starts the creepiest motion you can
Oh,
make.
it might as well have just sprouted horns. Or,
Well, it goes in the mouth. He makes
Yeah.
the wish to be big.
Makes it.
and then he gets his little fortune cookie thing.
The card.
business card that
Yeah.
says your wish has been
The
granted.
box that I have, there's cards in it.
Oh, there is?
funny.
Oh.
But he says-
keepsake.
He looks down and he realizes that this machine that was obviously built in the 50s because it has like the braided power cord.
Oh,
if you look
yeah,
at it, it's
yeah.
all creepy looking.
Yeah.
But it's not plugged into anything. And I'm like, hey, oh, well, that's weird.
Again, big old red
How
flag.
how did Zoltar give me a ticket and move his red eyes and mouth?
Immediately, Mom,
I think I'm going to go.
we need to go to a
So
hospital.
they go home and just the skies open up.
Yeah. Just turns into a...
Yeah, Zoltar took care of business.
Yeah. Well,
And then his kid
It's
sister's
efficient, too.
screaming, crying, and
Yeah.
he can just, which bullshit.
you got a newbie, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I
I
could
can
do
sleep
that.
through a lot of shit.
I could do that.
when you get to your second, you start being able to filter
when-
it out a little bit more.
When I was in high school, I used to wake up late for school, run in my car, go to school, come back home. My mom wouldn't be talking to me, and I'm like, "Hey, what's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
I don't appreciate the way you spoke to me this morning. I didn't talk to you this morning. Oh, yes, you did, and you said some very foul things. Like what? So I would like curse her out in my sleep, completely in my sleep.
really?
Yeah, I would like cuss at her and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I didn't cuss back then. Like I
Right.
would never do
That's
that to
not
my
your
mother.
thing,
Like
yeah.
would never do that to her.
Why?
I get mad and stuff, but never cussing at her.
Yeah. There's a line.
So obviously, I wouldn't put it past me to sleep right through a crying baby.
That's hilarious though. I wonder if you grew up doing that to like your older brother or like even, Trey. And,
I don't know.
Like just to like be
Just
like, go
never sleep.
away.
I never
Stop.
sleep enough, so
Yeah.
it's just like. But the weird part is, if my father was gonna wake me up, he'd come to the door and he'd stand outside the door, and he literally would like tap tap tap, and I'd be like, shoot up like I'm waking up out of a crypt.
Oh,
And be
because
like,
you know the tap.
Yes. What do you need? It's like time to get up.
What are we
They don't
doing? What are we
follow-
mowing? What do we
Makes no sense.
Got to rotate
whatsoever.
tires. What's going on?
Yeah.
I'll do it. What's
Yeah.
going on?
It's like they say after women have babies, they're hearing like you can. There's a joke on The Big Bang Theory where they're like, you can be as high pitched as
Yeah.
you want to wake them up, but if you talk way down here in a lower register, you could be as loud as you want and they'll never wake up. It's weird. That's funny.
I'm gonna try that if my wife are gonna talk to me.
Yeah, you come in the room and you talk like this.
I'm gonna order a pizza.
Hello, sir. Hello, please wake up. It's not
3
working.
No.
We gotta stop doing this. People are gonna stop listening.
Hey Siri. Hey Siri.
Anyway.
Oh, you got mine.
Oh, you got it.
Nope.
Son of a bitch.
So he wakes up and he looks like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like that's the next part of this movie. He wakes up and he's Tom Hanks.
You just summarized the whole movie.
Oops.
Kid wakes up. He's Tom Hanks. The end. We're done. Roll credits. Just get him through.
So he wakes up and his mom's telling him like it's time to get ready for school, and he does the whole like, oh, I'm so tired. Like walk to the bathroom and closes the medicine cabinet mirror, and he's like,
Yeah.
but he doesn't do the cliche like Kevin McAllister slap your face and scream. He's like. He's like, what the hell? Like he looks down and he's holding the card still, and he's like,
Oh.
it works.
Big.
And so
not older, not taller. I asked for big.
Well, it's
Could
funny.
have been a lot of different things.
Yes.
His
He
mom's
looks
like,
down. He's like,
Hey.
I am big.
his mom's like, are you in the bathroom? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, do you have a cold? And he's like,
Yeah.
no.
He's like, oh, she's walking up the stairs. She's like, he has a cold.
And
Which
then
means I'm
gonna
gonna
get
cold.
sick, and then the baby's gonna get sick.
That is how you think. It's like shit. And it's like, you know what you get to pay tuition at kindergarten or like daycares for the latest virus and cold to come home.
It's
with you.
antibodies.
Yeah, you're building that
that's
immunity.
what you get. That's what you get to bring. The new diseases, the fresh ones.
The fresh ones.
Yeah. So he does the whole like, oh my God, and he tries to put on his pants, which I thought
They
was
don't
great.
fit, which his underwear fit, which is weird. But
is
like, I
weird.
get it. They're not going to show you his hang down. I got it. It makes sense.
Just a nut popping
Makes
out
sense.
the left.
Makes sense.
Popping out the leg hole.
But he like goes downstairs in like the only clothes in the house that fit him.
His underoos, the underwear that's fun to wear, fit a grown man.
Yeah.
Like those things would not go on one leg.
Yeah, that kid, they just had to buy him grown man underwear.
Yeah, like,
he's got a hog down there.
I don't think you need to be any bigger. He is working with a baseball bat, two baseballs.
It's Josh the well endowed.
Yeah.
Like they had to buy a man-sized underoos.
It's like, Josh, man, I can't believe you were such a it seemed like you were growing so fast, and then you just stopped. And he's like, no, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
It's
when I
not
go to
height, it's length.
When I go to the bathroom, I pee on myself. I'm not talking about my pants.
Yeah. It's like, you ever had to wrap it? What do you mean wrap it? Don't ask questions.
I can't actually sit on the toilet because of Dunkaroos.
I'm not going into that on the radio.
That
I'm not going into that. I have a story for you guys. Remind me after. I'll tell you the story.
that blooper in Parks and Rec where like Chris Pratt's pretending to be an old person in Pawnee, and he's like, sometimes when I sit on the toilet, my balls touch the water. What if I flush them on accident?
You know those high-powered toilets, the one that like suck you down with them. Yeah,
the
I'd be
airplane
afraid of
ones?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the airplane ones. Don't even get me on that. Yeah. Poop on an airplane. Jesus.
The only person,
icicles
his
on
mom.
mine.
So he goes downstairs and tries to convince his mom, like, I'm your son.
Yeah.
Like, starts saying all this stuff, and then shows her the underwear.
Yeah, the birthmark, the
Yeah,
underwear.
because he's got a birthmark on
yeah.
his leg.
Yeah.
And so she takes out a butcher knife, which fair,
reasonable.
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Yes.
fair,
Yeah. Yeah.
and tries to kill him. And he runs out of the house.
Poor kid.
And then goes to school and like hides in the gym closet because his friend sucks at basketball,
Yes.
so he has to put the basketballs away.
He's the
Airbud
only
is
kid.
This is the kid who was guarding Airbud.
Yeah, this is the kid that got benched for the dog. They were like, buddy, Billy, just come on out. We're gonna put the golden retriever in, all right? Because he throws him. He's the only kid at the other end of the court. They throw him the ball, and he looks and just gets right under the basket and just throws that ball under rim as hard as he
All
can.
I thought the first time I saw this rewatching it was that scene from Benchwarmers where
which
David
one?
Spade goes to hit the ball and the bat comes around and hits him
Yeah.
in the back of the head, and John Hetter's sitting in the outfield and he just goes,
It's like, oh, the thing, I hit the thing, I tapped
ticked it.
You're still out.
You're
still fat.
We'll cover that movie
Benchwarmers,
one
But,
day.
dude. Benchwarmers.
So
yeah.
he runs out of the house and he finally convinces Billy by doing like the down baby, no street in the rain,
No.
sweet street.
You're
Well,
doing.
I'm doing
We're
Nelly,
doing the
but-
Nelly
Yeah,
song,
the Nelly
yeah. Which I was like, did Nelly watch Big?
Chimmy
Yes.
Cocoa Buck, Chimmy
Yes.
Rock.
Yeah.
Shimmy, shimmy,
I
Cocoa
met a
Puff,
girl-
shimmy, shimmy, rock.
What was
Shimmy,
that?
shimmy, Cocoa Puff,
Yeah.
shimmy, shimmy, rock.
Yeah.
I met just get a biscuit.
Yeah.
She said just a biscuit.
Biscuit.
Ice cream, soda, pop, vanilla on the top. Ooh, sherry. Walking down the street 10 times a week. I met it. I said it. I stole my mama's credit.
Yeah, that's it. Punch me
Punch
three
me
more.
in the sock me in the stomach 3 more times.
And then Billy's
It's
like, "Holy
not-
crap!
Those
it
weren't the
is-
words, but close
This
enough.
guy's
Ooh.
not. This guy's not
a
gonna.
rhyme.
This guy's not gonna beat the shit out of me.
Or like-
dude,
Dude,
missing the layup.
you know what it made me think? I never had secret code word dances or handshakes with my friends growing up.
Anymore.
If one of us had gotten big, nobody would have ever known.
Never would have
What
believed.
if, like if the verb of someone got big, oh shit, he got big. We gotta go.
He got Zoltar. You Zoltar.
We gotta go search every carnival in Dade County to see where this fucking thing.
We gotta
Seriously.
go. We gotta help this Zoltard over here.
Seriously, dude.
Oh shit, he got big. How did you know? Well, we had our code word. We didn't know he got big. We didn't know. We didn't have a code word.
So if one of us ever gets smalled, we're gonna have to like
No, I'm gonna
$40.
I'm
Oh
no,
my God.
that or I'm
Pizza?
singing the. I'm just doing the do 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 do.
I thought you were gonna say the Baskin rap or something. No, that's
I'm
right.
just doing the Nostalgialand song, and I'm gonna know exactly when to scream like a chicken.
This one. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be our code thing now. Either that or be like, yeah, that's Trey. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think it would take much convincing if
Oh,
Trey
what's
got
up? What's
smalled.
up, tiny human?
Be like, Trey, you got smalled. What the hell happened? He's like,
You've been
fucking-
hanging out with Rick Moranis?
God, it's like, yeah. I'm
guys-
Kevin Hart size now. What do
you
I
guys,
do?
yeah, you guys want to go to the fair and get smalled with me? Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, I would love that.
Sounds
do
like
this
a new
again.
street drug. Like, what are you guys doing? We're getting small.
We're gonna
last
get
night.
small. No, it's where we go. We do a lot of acid and we pretend we're 12 years old. 13 years old.
What's the one that Ari Shafir did? And he said he lived like a 40-year-long lifespan in like 8 minutes.
Wait,
I think
like
he did
ayahuasca
enough. I think he
or-
did like.
Ayahuasca or
Well, I know that those are like crazy drugs,
Yeah.
but like I think
Yeah.
with Ari, if I remember correctly, like one like stamp of LSD is like a
lot.
like that big, and he did like a full page of
Oh,
stamps
geez.
or something like
Yeah.
that. Like,
And he lived a 40-year life, had a family.
underwater.
or was
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
he was a fish.
okay, and I know Tom Segura.
Jesus.
He asked somebody like, "Hey, do you have like any of those edibles, like the 10 milligram ones?" And he was like, "Yeah, they're in there." And he's like, "Dude, like for real?" And he's like, "Yeah." And Tom Segura was like, the highest he'd ever been for like 4 days. And he was like, "What are you doing to me?" He's like, "Did you die?" And he's
Yeah,
like,
but did you die?
"No." He's like, "All right then, like we're good." Like, what the hell, man?
So if you ever get big or small,
Yeah.
we have code words
Yeah,
for it.
there you go.
We're not
That's our
telling
code.
you. No, I'm just
it's
kidding.
not it. So you can't be in our big to small club.
Yeah, if you come up to me and I'll still be your friend.
Yeah, or like a really old man.
Especially
just
if you work
shows
for a
up.
toy company.
I got old. I
was
got
the-
olded.
What was the guy that was famous back in the day? Was it Burns with he had the George Burns? Was it with the
Burns.
cigar? He was a famous actor. He was in a bunch of movies.
Rodney Dangerfield.
No.
He doesn't get any
You know who I was talking about if you saw him, probably. Don't worry about it.
Come on. All right.
Not important. We're talking about big.
Big.
So his
So it gets
friend
big.
convinces him, like, "Hey, we're going to the city. Like, we're
'Cause you'll
gonna."
hide out there.
Yeah,
right?
because well, he can't go home because.
Definitely not.
And
Well,
he
he-
stole
he's-
money out of his dad's
Yeah.
top drawer. He's like, "Where'd you get this?" And he's like, "I took it from my dad's top drawer." He's like, "You stole?" He's like, "No, it's for emergencies. What do you think this is?"
He's got a point.
He's a smart kid. Like they're both supposed to be the same age, but I was like, dude, Billy's got street smarts. Bro.
Well, that's
Billy's
because
understanding it.
Jack's the athlete.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, so Josh is the athlete, Billy's the street smarts. Because like this, Billy's got a plan, dude. Like he's walking, he's like, cheap hotel, let's go. This is the one. And like, there's hookers, like prostitutes outside, and he's like,
I'd use the chain
I'd
if I
use
were
the
you.
chain if I were you. And he's like, what if I have problems sleep? And he's like, I wouldn't if I were you. Actually,
Well, it's funny because I was watching that part of the movie and the guy's arguing with somebody over the phone in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And my wife was like, "What do you watch?"
Well, what was he saying? Did she say?
I didn't ask her to
Oh, yeah, he's
translate
like
it.
screaming into the phone,
Yeah.
and Josh is, as Tom Hanks is in the room listening,
Crying.
terrified.
Yeah.
Then he gets
He's
on
like
the
in the
bed and
fetal
just starts
position,
sobbing.
crying.
I would too.
Dude,
Honestly,
he
I'd be
does
like, yeah.
such a phenomenal job though in like the little moments, right? Like in the scene behind you right now, he's in that crappy hotel,
Yeah.
laying on the bed watching the Gene Hackman movie, just eating Oreos.
Eating the cream
And
out of the
yes.
Oreos.
Yeah, like licking the thing and scraping those teeth, but his feet are like kicking in a little bit. Like it's the little motions that he does. They're so awesome.
Well, knowing that they filmed the kid first and like, okay, this scene, do it. Just
Makes a lot of sense.
Just you, because because it is those little things that like kids, the way that he plays with his feet and like his little mannerisms and like even like the twitchiness of like how he looks around.
Do you know what scene
Like-
really comes out a lot is when he's in the two that I think of is when he's in FAO Schwartz and he's playing with the other little kid and they're playing with little guns and he lays on the ground like
the laser
spazzing out.
tag.
Yes.
And the second one is when he's playing like handball.
Oh,
With the douchebag with Kevin's dad.
Yeah.
And
Paul.
and he's saying, "Give me the ball," and he's like, "No." And then he ends up laying on the ground with the guy on his back, and he's just changing hands with the ball.
He's like, no,
Like, oh,
no.
and then
No,
he
you're
goes- and then
cheating.
and then it cuts, and he's like, "He didn't have to punch me." He got so frustrated that he just punched him.
Oh, but it's such a brilliant way that so he stays in that hotel. He gets a job the next day because they're sitting at a diner. They're just kind of like enjoying New York.
Well,
like,
they go to the Department of what is
Treasury
it?
or something like that.
The
What was
Department
it?
of we're gonna tell you where stuff is.
Yeah, it's like the Department of like
carnivals.
no, it's like human resources, but like whatever that would be.
Yeah,
for the city.
it was
like,
something really strange. I'm sure it'll pop up behind us any minute now.
Yeah.
But
It's already gone.
Okay.
Probably.
But they're like, oh yeah, we can get that information for you. It'll be 6 weeks, and he's like 6 weeks, and she's like, if you're lucky.
yeah,
Usually it takes longer.
yeah.
Say, hey, you might get lucky though. And he's like, shit. So he's like, we got to find you a job. And they're reading through the classifieds, and he starts skimming through. You do this. You
He's
do
like, what are
this.
you good at?
Computers. And he goes, wait, what is that? Read that. And he's like, it's for a toy company. Toy company.
No, he goes, computer consultant, read that one. He goes, stop with your stupid computers.
Yeah, dude. I guess in the 80s, it was just like,
this was the early days of the
Yeah.
computer.
And he's like, read that one.
computers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I
he's
kinda
playing like
wanna-
Zork.
I
Yeah.
kind of want to play whatever that game is.
I do too. Because I was
like-
like, what
it's like
AI is
Oregon
this?
Just
Trail,
go
but
to
you're a
Google.
wizard?
Yeah.
Just go to Google and type in talk.
You shut up.
What is it? Text
Big.
to play. No,
Yeah.
text to play game or whatever.
Yeah.
And it'll come
Yeah,
up with
every
that.
time I watch Big Bang Theory, it makes me want to try out that game Zork, and then I think about it, and I'm like,
I don't
why
know.
would I do that?
Yeah, it's like when
I
you're
can play
like,
Red Dead Redemption 2 or Zork.
that's like
Thanks.
that's like when you're like, I'm gonna watch Kroll, and then you're like, I don't need to watch.
I don't need to
I
watch.
don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. So, but he gets a job and he shows up to they're sitting in the lobby of the toy company and they're filling out a resume for him.
What's your
He's like,
social security
education.
number?
It's like 83, 59, 27. He's like, what the hell is that? My locker combination. But like he goes like a previous employment. He's like, well, your paper route. And he's like, I can't put that down here. And he's like, what did he call it? He's like,
Neighborhood information coordinator.
yeah, something coordinator. Yeah, and it's like it sounds really efficient. I was like, that's good, dude. And they both look over, and there's one guy. He's like really passionately filling it out. He's like, "What's that guy got?" And they both like lean out and just great
Yeah.
kid things, dude.
You know how they got them to bond like that? They put them in a room for 6 hours with nothing but toys.
yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Let's go play a game. Let's
It's
go play a
also
game.
Tom Hanks is like.
Barkley.
I feel like Tom Hanks' willingness and like Tom Hanks' spirit in this because like Tom Hanks is
He seems to really
comedic
like little
actor,
boys.
dude. He seems to be all right with that. Yeah, seems to be his thing.
It's been a while. It's been a
It
while.
has been a while. We need to.
Hey, I can make dark jokes without going dark places.
I don't need a flashlight to walk down the hall.
Yeah, dark humor's fun. It's fun for the whole family.
So he gets a job by basically telling this guy that he went to George Washington.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
did you pledge every day?
Because of the pledge of the
Yeah.
legions. They're so subtle. It's like that's what I was saying. I was like, Tom Hanks, like, he has comedic chops, dude. I want another Tom Hanks comedy before he's done acting. Like, he's done so many serious roles. I'm kind of done with Tom Hanks being dramatic.
Should we
Yeah.
put Chet in it? It's your boy
With
Chet
Chet?
Hicks. Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Somebody said that was like the perfect social experiment. When you name a kid Chet, you get a Chet. When
Or
you
you get
name him
Stedman.
Colin, you get a
Yeah,
Colin.
but Chet Stedman.
Yeah, Chet Stedman. What's Chet Stedman?
It's Gary Busey and Rookie of the Years. The Rocket.
Oh,
Chet
yes.
Stedman.
Chet
Can you sign
Stedman,
it?
the Rocket.
Can you sign it, Rocket?
Yeah.
But anyway,
So he starts
but
working.
it's funny because John Lovitz is in the cubicle next to
John
him.
love it.
And
He's crazy, man.
Well, and the best is he's like, he goes to work and he kind of gets it. He's like, oh, I just have to put these numbers in. Like,
Yeah.
easy, dude. Watch. Boom, boom, boom. And John Lovitz, he's like, hey, slower.
Slow down.
You're trying to make us look bad.
Trying to get us all fired right here. Slowly. Like John Lovitz is amazing, and just that when like, what does he say? He said, "Hey, so you see that girl over there? Should be careful. Just say hi to her. She'll wrap her legs around you, won't make you beg to let go or like beg for mercy."
The best. He's like,
and so Tom is
I'm gonna
like,
stay away from her.
"So I'll stay away from her." Yeah.
And John Lovitz looks at him like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're one of those.
In just that perfect way that John Lovitz is perfect in everything he's in. I can't think of anything that John Lovitz isn't
He's so
great in. He's so good.
And
However,
so my favorite is they get their paycheck at the end of the week, and he's like, $128.
Yes.
And John Lowe's like, yeah, they really screw you, don't they?
and what does any 13-year-old do with almost 200
Right
bucks?
to the bank.
Straight to the bank, and they're like,
Give me it.
The teller, he's like, teller, how do you want this? And he's like, they have to take a minute. Him and Billy like taking a side. They start whispering. 78 cents, $100 bill, and 87 ones. So she's like,
Two dimes.
Shit.
2 dimes.
Yes.
87 ones. $100 bill and 87 ones.
Yes,
She's
it's
like,
just one,
one.
two. She's like,
Again, it reminds me of Parks and Rec, where he's like, I've always wanted to see what $10,000 looks like. And he's like, I kind of thought it would be bigger. And April's like, let's do it in ones. She's $999, $1,000. He's like, have you ever seen this much money?
And then he's like, "What about nickels?" And she's like, "No."
Nickels. Let's do nickels.
Yeah.
that's somebody paid their parking ticket that they thought was, they tried to fight it, and they brought like 4 wheelbarrows with pennies.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, they had to accept
That's
it.
legal tender.
Nothing they could do. They could be like, no, take it away. No. You have to sit here and count this. This is your problem now. So anyways, he gets the job, and immediately the next day, like you said, goes to F.A. Schwartz.
On a Saturday.
On a Saturday, he's just playing, just hanging out, just doing his thing.
Real quick, let me jump back
yeah.
to when he's in the interview. The reason he gets the job so quickly is because the female lead of the movie busts in the room, and she's pissing and moaning
She's an
about her
idiot.
assistant because
Yeah.
she sucks wieners. And
Literally.
yeah, she's getting married, and all she's doing is writing her name different ways, Mrs.
yes,
this and that.
over and
Mrs.
over
She
again.
can't
and
answer
that.
the phone.
Hickman.
Yeah.
Miss Hickman.
I haven't gotten any of my messages. I haven't gotten any of my mail. Nothing's getting done.
My favorite is when she's like, sometimes she spells the hyphen. And
Yeah.
Tom Hanks goes,
Hyphen.
And then so she says, yeah, she's useless. And then she leaves the room, and the guy just looks at her and says, "When can you start?"
yeah.
And it's like, soon.
Yeah, like soon. But then he's running through the halls because he actually does what you would want any employee to do, and
Hustles.
he works, and he works hard.
Yeah.
And he comes flying around the corner and runs into
Just
the CEO
smashes
of
the
the
boss.
company. And
Just
he's
the greatest boss also.
Yeah.
All around. I used to think he was so mean and gruff, but it's just his voice.
Yeah.
He
Reminds
is
me.
the best
Everybody
boss.
else sucks.
Yes.
He rules.
Tyler,
He gets knocked. He's like, oh, it's actually good for the CEO to get smacked on his ass. Like,
Yeah.
every now and then it keeps morale up, or it keeps him on his toes.
Keeps him
Reminds me of Mr.
Yes.
Lundy.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Lundy.
Oh, Lundy, yeah. So he basically pummels the CEO, Mr. Macklin. Is that right? I'm gonna look that up.
Burt Macklin, FBI.
Yeah, Macmillan. Sorry, Macmillan.
Macmillan.
So, yeah, so it's Macmillan Toys, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Just played by Robert Loggia.
Loggia.
Great
Robert
guy,
Loggia.
great actor, and
Yeah.
amazing.
So he goes to F.A.O. Schwartz. He's playing with the little boy that he just meets randomly. They're having a blast, and he runs into his boss. And
Well, he runs into his boss because he gets shot, and he's convulsing on the floor.
Exactly.
And he goes, "Don't you
don't
work
you
for
work
me?"
for me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's no shame. He's just like,
Yeah.
I do.
yeah.
He's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I
Playing.
just hanging around." And he's like, "I do the same thing every Saturday."
He's like, "Are you with your kids?"
It's
He's like,
kind of
no.
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Kind of weird that this old man who's not a 13-year-old boy is just hanging out at a toy store every Saturday.
These are the 2025
Not like-
models.
like Beetlejuice. What are you doing? Nothing.
Yeah.
Just hanging around.
Not like I come here once a month,
to check on things,
Just
look
to,
through
like,
stuff. Yeah,
do some market research, see what the kids are
Is
into.
my stuff on the shelf?
Maybe he
Is my
just,
stuff on the shelf?
yeah,
maybe it's like
So
he's the
then-
Michael Jackson we all wanted him to be.
yeah.
Where it's
Then you
like we
get
just
the-
wanted him to be a child his whole
Then
life.
you get the iconic scene with the piano
This is the scene.
yeah, dude.
Of
where they
Big.
play Chopsticks by Jumping.
And you know what's interesting about this scene? If you looked up anything about this movie, Penny Marshall, the director, was in an FAO Schwartz, and they had these. They call them like foot pianos, and it's basically big enough for one person.
Yeah.
So she asked FAO Schwartz if they could make it bigger, and they provided a 2-person basically
And you just
piano.
pitch it
and
up.
it's I don't know. With the last video that I saw, it was still on display at FAO Schwartz in New York. I don't know if FAO Schwartz is still there in New York.
I don't know if it's still a thing. I know
I think COVID killed a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But anyway, so they had 2 professional musician dancers on standby to do the chopstick scene as it is still there.
Still a thing.
Cool.
Still there.
As a
They were open
stand-in.
until 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Well, they both had cardboard
Cutouts.
like foot pianos made, and they practiced at home. And when they went to go cut, and they were like, "Okay, cut, bring in," and no, bring in nothing. And Tom Hanks and Robert Loggia really do the dancing in that scene, and I like it because it's not perfect. It's like they step a little off, and so they didn't like redo it till it was like excellent. But it's like more real, more honest.
They didn't do it till Shao Kahn came in. Excellent. Yes. Is that your best?
They were like, whoopsie.
Do you know Dick Cheney?
Toasty.
I did until they killed me.
Well, Robert Loggia to do that leap, dude. Like, I mean, my knees would hurt from that because they jump from one octave to the next.
I never trust any of that anymore. Like, who knows? Robert Loggia could have been 30 back then. And you know what I mean? Like, people just looked older.
My favorite part of that whole thing, though, is
true.
like they're talking about how they learned piano, blah blah, and then they get to the part, and he just looks at Jack and goes, chopsticks. And then it's like, dun, 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 dun. That's my favorite part of that whole thing.
Yeah, no, like you're absolutely right. It must have been like the nicotine everywhere. Like
he gets
the lead.
Yeah.
instantly promoted to like vice president of bullshit.
Well, because the guy's a genius. He's thinking, I run a toy company. This man is obsessed with toys and knows toys. He's into it.
Everyone else at the job is like a dick. Dude.
Oh yeah,
like
they just care about marketing and money and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and it's put on display in the scene behind you next day.
It's like my favorite scene where they're in the
He's sitting. He's playing with a toy building.
Yeah. The robot building.
Well, he's sitting there. He's like, I don't get it. And he's like, it's a building that turns. What don't you get? And he's like, yeah, but it's not cool. It's a building, dude. And I totally agree with him. He's like, what do you turn into bugs? And I was
how do you play
Beast Transformers?
How do you play with a building?
Yeah,
like, that's his question. He's like, what do you mean? Like, how do you play with a building? And what does it do? Like, just a building all of a sudden stands up and is a robot? That's stupid.
And there was some talk, like you have to kind of listen in the background to really like see what's driving some of the motivation for some of these people, because there's like little side conversations people are having where like, well, we tested the numbers, it worked here, but when we finally got in front of the kid, like on the shelves, nobody bought it. And so it's like it's having that insight. Like I guess Macmillan is thinking is like this guy like understands children.
Yeah.
None of the other people I have are just like they understand numbers. But this kid understands kids.
I just love during the thing where he like has a question and he keeps like
raising his hand. Yeah, and everyone else is just talking, like whatever. But he is like the CEO of Macmillan and Tom Hanks's Josh are the only two that understand that you're selling toys to children, and if the children aren't where you start, then everything else doesn't matter. Because if kids aren't into it, every focus group and every marketing thing is not going to work to get these kids to buy your crap.
No, they're not going to want it flying on the shelves and transforming.
Well, and
buildings.
this guy's already pissed off because like he got the office he wanted. And
yeah, so
like,
John
they're
Hurd,
bigger than my office. He's only been here 3 weeks.
John Hurd is pissed off. So Paul, who's like I guess the antagonist of this movie, but he's just the numbers dude. He works. He's like gunning for Macmillan's like top positions, right? And Tom Hanks walks in and basically takes the office, takes
him 10 minutes to out everybody.
Takes him 10, and so but
guy came in here talking about bugs.
Yeah, you don't just sit in an office. You don't just sit in a meeting and say bugs and then get a promotion. And it's like, yeah, I understand where he's coming from, but it's also you're a dick.
And the love interest is smoking cigarettes like the whole movie,
dude. Yes,
until she starts hanging out with Tom Hanks,
and then stops.
That has to be why there's a generation that you've seen like the generation that came after us. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're over vaccinated or something, but these 20-year-olds like show up on YouTube and stuff. And they're like, I'm 22 years old. I was like, dude, you look 40.
It's because they all vape.
Yeah, it must be something like that. I was like, we brought nicotine back somewhere. It must be vaping.
Not to get dark, but I actually really worry about
The over vaccination,
the vaping.
Oh,
The over vaccination, yes, but the vape, like all these people who have believed, like I don't smoke, I vape.
Gives you popcorn lung.
Well, not only that, but like people who smoke normally they would go outside and smoke. Or they wouldn't smoke. Like these people are laying in their bed or doing whatever. Yeah. They're taking a shower. They're brushing their teeth and they're hitting their like people come into restaurants and they can't sit through an entire meal without hitting their vape multiple times.
I was at a restaurant. What was it last week? And I kept like Cora, my daughter, was like, "There's smoke in here, Dad." I'm like, "What?" And I was like, maybe it's the fajitas coming by the table. No. And she's like, it smells like cherry. And I was like, it does smell like, what does a fajita smell like cherry? And I turn around and it's these two younger than me, definitely. But they look like their eyes look like sallow, dude. Like they were sunken in and they both had their pens out. And I just kind of looked over and like at least the girl was like, hey, oh, sorry. Like, cause I was like, dude, I got kids in the next booth. Like that's
it's ridiculous.
Healthier. Anyways.
It's ridiculous.
Off on that tangent. We'll come back around. So
we sound so old.
He has the job. We do. God, eat your veggies. Take your Flintstone vitamins.
Stop getting vaccinated.
So now he's got this promotion, and he can fill his new high-rise apartment that he bought with just everything you wanted when you were 13. He now has the money to buy it.
Yeah.
I got a full-size basketball hoop in my house. I got arcade games. I got a soda machine that you don't have to pay for.
Yeah.
I got a trampoline.
Bunk bed.
What?
Did you say a sewing machine?
I said soda machine. That
soda machine. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Put six
my
packs.
fault. I'm like,
you could put 6 packs of soda in here.
In the sweatshop at home.
and the weirdest part was not only that, but he said that you don't have to pay for. Yeah. So I'm like, what sewing machines are you using? He's
free.
Like,
Don't need a ticket.
Put quarters in the sewing machine. Now, I have a question about this part.
Okay.
Why you buy a bunk bed?
No, because he's friend.
I know.
Russ or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah.
But
Billy.
Yeah, because Russ in the other movie.
Yeah. In Honey I Shrunk.
In Honey I Shrunk. But that apartment is very weird.
Yeah.
It is kind of weird. It has 50-foot high ceilings.
Yeah. The ceilings go on and on and on. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't.
It must have been like a chapel or something.
I wouldn't live in it. It's like
Right.
a warehouse that they just threw a floor in.
That's a great one.
Yeah, and they walled off it so it looks like an L.
It's what is it? Laminate.
Yeah, and
it's
just
all
like
the way through.
skateboard, and the booth in the corner that's like made for a table to go, like literally looks like a skateboard ramp.
It does.
But yeah, like they literally used this apartment just for the trampoline to be in it, and then to be shot from the outside of the window with them jumping up and down.
Yeah,
like because this apartment sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't live in it in New York with 50, like they literally have like the entire freaking building ceiling.
But it was definitely like a studio with a kitchen. Like it was no extra room. Like
there's
there was
nothing to it.
There was a bathroom, a kitchen, and then just like an L-shaped living space
area.
And honestly, that's New York real estate. I've been in so many weird apartments where like you had to go. You walked into a Chinese restaurant, you took a left, and then you went down some steps, and there was 3 doors. And the middle door was where I was meeting some friends. Open up the door, and there's an apartment in there. And like they have 2 windows, and you see people's feet walking by because they're below street level. And the middle room of this apartment was raised. Like you stepped up to it, and they had a couch, and it was like a platform. And then to go to the bedrooms, you stepped down and then into the bedrooms. And the bedrooms were like hexagon. I can't describe this place.
They're bizarre.
It was like someone, Dr. Seuss or Escher, designed these like some living conditions in Manhattan. So that part wasn't the weird. It was the 50-foot ceilings in this
Very
thing.
bizarre.
Dude, I was like, I know he's making money, but his paycheck when it was 187. I'm wondering.
Well, that was before he got promoted.
Yeah, what he went up to, because I'm like, dude, you have to be banking.
Hey, not only that, but the company paid for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. They did.
Remember, he's a consultant, so all the toys.
It's all part of it.
It's all part of the gig.
It's all for rent. You're right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the great turning point is so she starts noticing Laura. Is that right? Laura, the love interest who's smoking the whole time.
I don't remember her name, but she's so pretty.
She's very pretty.
She's a pretty
She's
lady.
very pretty.
Very
she's
pretty
a pretty lady.
Susan. Sorry.
Susan, yeah.
Elizabeth Perkins. Susan.
She
so
notices
pretty.
him at the party because he dresses kind of like a jack. He looks
Yeah,
like
he dresses like Liberace. if
He does,
like
yeah.
Liberace and Elvis hung out.
Yeah.
Like, so it's not quite as flamboyant as Liberace, but
Yes.
it's a little more than Elvis would do.
I was
a
gonna
white
say,
tuxedo
I was gonna
with
say
tails.
he looked like the missing link with Harry and Lloyd and
Oh, yes. He would have fit
He's
right in the
even
middle
more
of it.
extravagant because he's got
Yes.
rhinestones all over his.
It has like, yeah, it does. It has a texture pattern to the side.
But everybody takes it as a joke.
Yeah.
Like when he shows up like that.
Which there's kind of a funny thing. I was like, dude, this is like, if I met this guy at work, I'd be like, this guy's a jackass and he's hilarious. Like this is the best person at this company.
Well, if I ever met him, I'd be like, oh, this guy takes nothing serious.
Yes, and I'd be
he's
like,
just
this guy's hilarious, dude. Yeah, of course. Everyone's going to show up in black tie, look like penguins. I'm going to show up in a white with tails tuxedo with rhinestone
And a top
details
hat.
and a top hat. And just,
Oh, no, he didn't have a top
He
hat.
didn't, but like just show up and just blow this whole thing out. And I feel like that's an amazing personality to have. So I
know who
can
that is?
see what
That's Tony.
that is Tony. That's exactly
Yeah.
Tony.
Like, we went to play basketball in the ghetto, and this dude wore tiny little red shorts.
No, he was blue, wasn't he?
It doesn't matter. and a red tank top, and his buddy wore blue with a blue, and I mean tiny little shorts. And they called themselves Fire and Ice.
And they
And like
just
we
beat
were in the ghetto.
Yeah, but
like
they were-
these were hardcore dudes. These
Yeah.
were not like, it's not a joke. But they could play, and
they
they
were
could play.
beating the brakes off these
Yeah, they
dudes
could play
in
really well.
basketball.
And so like at first they all like laughed at them, but then
Right.
as soon as they saw him playing and stuff, and they kind of like heard him talking, they were just like, "Oh, these guys are just effing with us.
They
like
know what's up.
let's have a good time."
They know what's up. Let's have some fun.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
best part of this party, though, is he's like eating stuff off the hors d'oeuvre.
and that was all
Yes.
him at like just.
But
Just
he's
dude
just
feeling
like,
it.
He's
Yeah.
just like biting stuff and putting it back.
It's the baby corn for me, dude.
he triple dips the carrot.
Yeah.
Yes, every bite.
Then he picks up the baby corn, and that was all him.
Yes.
It's like
just him eating the baby.
a typewriter.
Oh, and then
Yes.
and then Susan's talking to him, and does she say it's beluga, like it's
Yeah.
a whale?
Yes.
No, it's caviar.
Caviar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the big
Beluga
dog.
caviar.
So he takes a big bite of that.
And
And he
he's like,
says, "Oh my gosh."
And she's like, "Are you choking?" And he's like, "Oh."
It's almost like Elf, like Will Ferrell. Like he sprays the. He's like, "Ooh, fruit spray," and he sprays the perfume in his mouth. And he does the. She's like, "Do you want to get out of here?" And she's like, "Yes." And so they leave, and she like. What did did they go anywhere
Limo.
together? They go in a limo, and he's like just
They're-
touching everything.
Oh, they're
dude.
gonna go back to her place.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, can we get some sodas or like a hamburger?"
Yeah.
So they get like a burger and fries, and then he's like, "Hey, Mister, we're not gonna eat these fries. You want some?" To the drive.
He's like picking up the phone in there. He's
She's
pushing
like,
all the buttons.
She's like, "You're
He's
gonna make
touching
a
stuff."
call right
Yeah.
now," and he's like, "No."
No.
Yeah.
Just put that back.
Then he climbs out
Yeah.
the sunroof, and
Yes.
he makes her come too.
They hit a bump and they fall.
Yeah.
Well, like, and then she's at this point, she's into him, and she's like trying to let's escalate this, take this next level. And he's like, "Oh, that's my building." She's like, "Oh, I'd love to see where you live." And the camera cuts, and the limo's just hard reversing, like straight down some avenue in New York at like 40 miles an hour. And so they go up, and he takes her. He's like, "Yeah, I live in a loft. It's really cool." Takes her up there, and like this to me would be like the red flag of like maybe
his
this
living-
isn't a joke.
His living room looks like the first floor of Duncan's Toy Chest.
Yes.
Yeah. You just walked into FAO Schwartz.
Yeah.
There's a giant foot piano in the corner over there.
Yeah, there's a bunk bed, a red bunk bed in the middle of the living space.
He might
And
as
he's
well
like,
have like the Ninja Turtle sheets on it.
Yeah, he's like,
we all had. When
do
we were kids.
you want to sleep over? He's like, you want?
You mean you want to sleep over?
And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess.
"Okay, I can
She's
be on top."
basically saying, "You want to bang?"
Yeah.
And he's thinking,
Cool.
"Are we gonna play Truth or Dare?"
Yeah.
Are we gonna have pinball? You
Yeah.
don't put quarters in it either. It's
Yeah,
got-
you don't have to pay for
That's
this
my
either.
favorite part. Is he invites her up and he's like, "You want a soda?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Just pick." They rigged it. You don't have to put any money in.
They rigged it.
He like
yeah.
throws a baseball at it too. He's like, "Want soda?"
And it gives the soda when
Yeah.
he does
Yes,
that.
it does,
He
yeah.
hits it.
Oh, he hits a button.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm saying. He hits the button.
Yeah,
Dude,
and then
that's
he
what
walks-
I really. One thing I miss. Sorry to cut
About
you off.
church.
When I was a kid
Yeah,
at church,
50
Yes.
cents.
and no, a
Quarter.
quarter.
they were. Yes.
For so long, they
And
were
then it
a
was
quarter.
and then inflation hit
Yeah, it
around
was-
like 2008. And it
Well,
was
they
$1.
were so far behind, and it was a quarter,
It was
and then it was
forever.
50 cents
Forever.
for a long time,
Yes.
and then once it went from a quarter to 50, it started to rise pretty rapidly, and then they got rid of it.
I wanted to ask my dad about having. I was like, can I buy that machine because they were like, yeah, we're getting rid of it. And I was like, can I buy the machine? He's like, we can ask, I guess. And they called the company. It's like, they want $500 for it. And I was like, that machine has been around since the 80s. I'm not paying $500. I was in college. So I was like, there's no way I'm paying $500
I for sure would have got it for $500.
If it was now, 100%. I definitely would have. Yeah. If now, yes.
That would have been the easiest $500 I ever spent. Bam.
That Coke machine.
Can you rig it? Can you rig it so I don't have to put money in it?
Yeah. You show up for youth group. You get a soda. You go out. You're the cool kid. Oh, I got Dr. Pepper.
You're like, I got a soda.
You got a soda, ladies.
It's from Majors of the Outfield, by the way.
Want a sip? You can't have any. That's gross.
That is gross.
You got the cooties. I don't want those.
Circle.
So she's just like, she's hesitant at first. But I guess the way that only Tom Hanks can have a room full of children's toys and convince you like I'm still normal.
Well, they go jumping on the trampoline.
To jump on the trampoline, and she's really hesitant. He's like, no, and I was like, were trampolines new at this point in '88?
In your house, yeah.
I guess in your house, sure. But I'm guessing because she looked at this like, so what do you do on it? You just jump? Like she was like confused, like this new technology of trampolines.
I don't know if it was so much that or like. What are you doing?
Why do you have this?
Yeah. Like, what, you just jump on it?
Well, they were called jumpolines until your mom stepped on them. No. Yeah, no, but she's like,
fair.
She, that is a random joke. I'm not going to say that's about anybody. That is just one joke I heard in high school. Anyways, but she eventually relents, jumps, they have a good time, they play, they talk, they hang out. And then he gets the cutest thing. He gives her a compass. He like hangs down over the bed and he's like, pick a hand.
Well, she's in like the Eagles jersey or whatever. Yeah. And she's like, hi. And he's like, good night. He like jumps up.
Jumps on the top bunk. And he hangs over and he's like, he has both hands. He's like, pick a hand. He's like, that one. He's like, no, try again. Then he's like, all right, that one. And he holds it and he's like, it's a compass. Glows in the dark in case you get lost.
It's a compass ring.
Yeah,
it's a compass ring. Glows in the dark. That way you won't get lost.
That way you won't get lost. And he's like, well, good night. That to me was like adorable, dude. It's
and
so
to her
cute.
too, you could tell it was very endearing.
Yes, it was. And
so then, like in the next day, she meets with her boyfriend, and he's like, "Oh, I bet he enjoyed it," and she's like,
"Yeah,
it's not what happened."
Yeah, it seems like they have kind of like an open relationship,
or like,
kind of
hey, I want you to bone that guy, so we have blackmail on him.
Oh yeah, so we got
like a Diddy situation, like an Epstein thing.
Paul's an ass, is what it is.
He's a real piece of shit.
Mr. McAllister, you're a real dick.
This is why he moved to Chicago, was to get away from him.
He's different in that movie.
He can afford things. Well, like
because his wife's a high-end fashion designer.
Well, and at the party though, they're all drinking like it's the end of the world, dude. In fact, like one of them is sitting at the table and the camera's right behind him, and he just head slams, like just passes out drunk at that table. And I'm like, oh, that's great. She's just like, I'm done with this.
Well, she's like, she's like, it's like somebody scheduled a party in 1985 and just had the same party every year.
Over and over and again. Which this is 88. So we're getting right along to the 90s.
And it's like red everywhere.
Yeah, it was
like neon red lights.
It was strange. It was a weird party. It
reminded me of the club from The Mask.
Oh yeah, good point. With Cameron Diaz,
the Coco Bongo Club.
Yeah, the Coco Bongo Club.
Oh, The Mask, dude. We gotta.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Do some gym this summer.
To me, that's possibly peak Jim Carrey.
Ooh, yeah.
I love that movie, and it is definitely peak Cameron Diaz.
She's like, oh my god, you're.
Yeah.
She's like, you're a fucking child.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're a child.
Definitely peak Cameron Diaz.
Yes,
oh yeah. Well, definitely at the end of this month we need to do Groundhog Day as a part of it, just in honor of this is the season, and it's Bill Murray being Bill in his most Bill self. So him and her start having a relationship. They're flirting. They're talking. They're hanging out. I think she's genuinely in love with him.
Yep.
And it comes to a point where Macmillan is like, okay, you're a toy genius. We all see that. So now I'm putting my faith in you to come up with the next great toy. And his thing is a great idea. It's like one of the first ebooks. It's a tablet comic book where you choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
He comes up with an RPG.
It's a choose your own adventure.
Choose your own adventure, and it's I guess it would be like cartridges or discs where you load it up, and then once you're done reading it, you choose all the different options. It's it's a lot of fun. It's a great idea.
And he's like, and it works for sports, and it works for this and that.
And Paul's being a dick, and he's like,
different discs.
I don't get it.
and it's so funny because the boss is even like, don't do that.
Yeah. He's like, ass. But the whole time, Billy is running back and forth.
trying to get a hold of him because he's like, I got the list.
Yeah, and consoling his mom, like Billy and his mom, Mrs. Baskin was
Carol.
on Frasier. Is it Carol? No, it's
No,
not.
it's
Carol.
not.
God,
No, it's
you're
not.
killing me, Trey.
It's not Carol.
Oh God, dude, it's not Carol.
She killed her husband.
Okay.
Whacked him.
Mercedes rule. It's just Mrs. Baskins. So Mrs. Baskins is the mom. But like Tom is like, Josh is doing well at work, and he's like sending letters home, and it's weird letters because it's like, how are you getting those home?
They're feeding
dude?
me.
Yeah, they're feeding me. I get outside.
Yeah,
every
we
now and
didn't
then.
cover the fact that he's telling his family that he's been kidnapped.
Yeah,
And he's
okay.
calling as himself, but like, don't worry, you'll get him back in like a month.
Oh yeah, he's at his desk too. He's like, just give me a month, like 6 weeks. You'll be
They
fine.
for sure trace that call and he gets arrested.
Yes. I was like, dude, where is the police presence in this situation?
He was already on milk cartons and all
That's
this
New
stuff.
Jersey.
Yeah. Kid goes missing to swim with fishes. $40 pizza.
There's an
I'm
episode
a
of Big
big-
Bang where
Big Tony must have got
Leonard and Sheldon are fighting because Leonard lied to Sheldon, and he's like, "You say you're from New Jersey, but how do I know?" And Leonard says, "Why would anybody say they were from New Jersey if they weren't?" And he goes, "Fair point."
I love it. There's some Instagram account where they keep trying to make you think like you've never seen New Jersey like this, and it's very clearly like that road in Montana that overlooks like all the beautiful mountainscapes, but it's like it's like going down and through a tunnel, and it's like you've never seen New Jersey like this, and then it's brr, 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 that Train Your Dragon theme song, and it's this gorgeous mountain. I was like, that's not New Jersey.
No, it's like the Golden Highway in Alaska
Not
or
New
whatever.
Jersey at all. Oh man, we're gonna make friends up there. Yeah, so he's doing well, and he's like really just becoming an adult, and it's honestly because of the most risque part of this movie. They go dancing. They're at the seaside park in New York. They
This
actually
is after Billy takes him out for his birthday.
yeah, they actually pass Zoltar
Oh yeah.
on the dock, and you're like, hey,
It's right there.
It's right there.
It's
But he's
kind of
starting
like
to like it.
it's
Yes.
he's growing up.
Well, he's
Yeah.
good. He's like, I'm good at my job. I got a girlfriend.
Dude, how to land an amazing job like that? What do you do all day? Oh, I consult and play with toys. Are you kidding me? Like that's amazing. But like, so they obviously they're falling for each other, and that's where you get the scene where I was like, dude, I don't know. Obviously, for the 13-year-old, he's like, this is bananas. This is the greatest night of my life.
So let me see your boobies.
Yes, I touched him.
Like,
Well,
He even acts like a 13-year-old in the scene,
yes,
which is like
he
super
does.
creepy weird.
Yes,
When he
that's
comes in the
heart.
When she turns the light off,
Yeah,
and then he turns it back on, and she's like, "You want the lights on?" And he's like,
yeah.
"But he doesn't." The creepiest part is how he just has the goofy smile and never says a word.
Yeah.
He just like
Yeah,
nods his
yeah.
head super creepily.
And I guess
but
we're assuming that they went all the way because the next morning he wakes
comes
up.
and
He's like,
"What's up, Jimmy?"
Yeah.
High fiving people.
It's like coffee, black.
Well, and that's Mrs. Fortman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
very
his
young.
assistant.
His assistant.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's from that '70s show.
Oh
very
yes,
young.
that's great. Yes, I didn't realize that was
Foreman.
her. Oh my gosh, Miss
What did I say?
Foreman.
Fortman.
Fortman. Kitty.
Where she's like, I know.
She's so funny.
She's like, 5 out of 6 kids smoke, and I'm gonna close my eyes, and I want a cigarette. And I'm gonna count to 10, and when I open them, I want a cigarette. And she's like, so she closes her eyes, and a hand hands her a cigarette, and she goes, "Light me." And then all 6 kids have a lighter in front of her.
super funny.
She's like, yes, okay. So yeah, it's like, man, when you think about that, like how this Susan, when you think about the end of the movie, I was like, dude, this would have ruined
She
her
loses.
life.
She loses.
She like the idea of like, I had sex with a 13-year-old boy who was bigged.
Technically, she had sex with a really immature 30-year-old man.
Yes, that's
Because he is-
true.
he
Because
is 30, yeah.
30. But dude, it's like to like walk away and be like, oh shit, it's true. He's not just like crazy and I'm going along or like I'm believing it. No, it's actually true. I watched this grown man transform back into a 13-year-old.
Because
I'm just like,
if he doesn't go to Zoltar, he's 30 forever.
yeah, dude.
You know what it kind of does too. This movie makes her into a much softer,
Yeah.
better person.
Because she dumps the douche.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but it changes her.
She doesn't smoke all the time.
Because look at the first scene you see her in. She busts it. She's the douche, just like she is him too. They're
She's
the same
got like
people.
the pantsuit on, and
Yeah, they're just awful, like business corporate cutthroat.
Exactly. It's like what a way for like corporate life to ruin you working at a toy company. Guys.
Yeah.
This
And-
should be fun.
And they're mocking like McMillan, the boss, for being like this guy, and like
the old man likes
he built the company because of his love for toys and his love for giving joy to
stupid guy
humans.
still plays with Legos.
Yeah.
What a guy. What up,
Big
guy?
on Vine. Shut up! Your mother get you Mega Blocks instead of Legos.
Hey, the box says $6 to $99. I'm going with 99 plus. All right, that's where I'm working.
But so she starts like taking him home to meet her family, and he's like helping the son with algebra. And then he's like,
Is that her family or they're just friends of hers?
I could be friends.
Yeah, I think it's just friends with her. Yeah, just
they
friends.
go to like the dinner party,
And
right?
Yeah.
Columbus had a third ship, and he's like, oh yeah, the Santa Luna. And he's like, oh, you saw
fourth.
the documentary? And he's like, yeah, the fourth. And he's like, no, I just used to study.
Yeah.
But he starts to become like more of an adult because he's like, no, I used to. Like he's not like, oh, I learned about it last year in history. He's like, no, I used to study this.
Well, he's learned like I
Yeah.
can't say stuff around people because it sounds like I'm 13
Yeah,
because
well,
I
and
am.
then so he's in the kids' room and he's like, oh, okay.
Wait, what about the
Let's
kid?
say Michael Jordan scores 20 points in the first quarter. How many is he going to get that game? Or 10 points in the first quarter. He's like, he's dropping 40. He's like,
Oh, I thought it was
"That's
Bird.
or whatever.
Yeah,
He's
sorry.
like, that's algebra. He's like, what?
Dad's algebra.
But when the kid comes in and he's asking
Oh,
his
yeah.
dad, and he says, "We're busy at a party." Like, wow, okay,
Oh
great
my
parenting.
gosh, dude.
And the
But then
cats and the
he
colonel and
he
the
says,
sails.
"Hey, is that algebra?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I like algebra." What? You're a weird kid, man. You're just a weird kid.
That's
period.
a weird dude. Yeah, he likes. Well, I think it's to say that he's an athlete, but he's a computer nerd, and like he's
mean,
hanging out with Billy. Just
He
'cause
does play the thinking
Billy's
man sport. He's a
cool.
baseball player. So
That's true.
plays
It's
for
all
the
about-
Dukes.
It's all about the numbers.
Plays
in
for the
that game,
Dukes.
isn't it? Well, I think like what I would love out of this. Well, hold on. Let's get to the wrap about it, and I'll share. Post
Yeah.
So they
So
invent this toy and they go to
yeah.
the meeting. And before the meeting, Billy crashes in and he's like, here's this is the address.
Yeah.
There's Zoltar.
Seaside Park, New York, or
And he's
something
like,
like that. Yeah.
who the fuck do you think? They're one up Bob.
Billy does, yes.
PG-13.
Yeah.
He's like, your name is Josh Baskin. Who the fuck do you think? I'm 3 months older than you, asshole.
Dude, the kid is
one,
so
yes.
money in this movie.
Oh, Russ.
he
plays
does
it
such
so
a fantastic job.
Sorry, that's not his name. Russ. The actor
Billy.
is
Well, Billy's
yeah,
his
it's
name.
Billy.
Billy's his
It's
name.
Russ. It's Jared Rushton.
Rushton.
Jared Rushton is he's brilliant, man. Like, and he's in stuff now, but it's like NCIS and like those
Those
random shows,
Cameos.
That yeah.
What's the guy? What's
Yeah.
the one that Jim Carrey always does?
Oh, with the
He puts the glasses on. CSI.
CSI,
Where he's like,
CSI Miami.
It looks like he likes his drink served cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does the scream.
So yeah, they have this confrontation, and he's like, "I found the stupid Zoltar thing. It's out at Seaside Park," and just basically like, makes Josh like break down, like, "Oh yeah, like I'm 13 years old, like
Right.
I'm not an adult, like, and I got a mom, and I got and like there is a heart to heart moment between Billy and Josh's mom, where she's like up in his room looking at his old stuff, and he's like." And she like promises him, she's like, he'll be back soon.
Well, she
Finds the walkie-talkie.
Finds the
Yeah.
walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And thinks it's Josh. But so he just walks out of this meeting. Like they're having this pitch meeting about his brand
Because
new.
he tells
this thing.
He tells the girl before they go. He tells his girlfriend, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Susan.
Like I'm
Susan.
actually 13.
Yeah, I'm 13. I'm not big. I'm not old. And what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, I'm 13.
She thinks he's just like, I don't want to get married or have
Right.
kids. And
Doesn't
all.
want to commit. Doesn't
Scared
wanna
of
do the
commitment.
thing.
Like,
Right.
yeah, I'm scared of commitment. I haven't hit puberty yet.
I woke up one.
I can't
Yesterday I
ride
was-
the ride at the carnival.
I woke up one day and I was 30.
Yes. Tom Hanks yelling and anything is just.
And
fun.
she's like, "You
It's
think
just
there's not a scared child inside me too?" And he's
Yeah.
like, "I don't know what that means."
No, you know what he was thinking? There was last night.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes.
I was so afraid. That's more weird than dark.
I don't know. It's pretty dark. Get dark as dark can be.
So then he walks out and she's like, "Oh, holy crap! He's gonna like go to the Zoltar machine."
Or something, like he's just leaving, dude.
Yeah.
And she's like, "This is it." Like he's just trying to ditch me. And so she follows along, and finds that he's like at Seaside Park in front of the
Yeah, by the
Zoltar
time
machine.
she gets there,
He's
because
already fed Zoltar.
he jumps. He gets in a cab and leaves,
Yeah.
and then she's running down on the street, and Billy is standing at a street cart vendor.
Eating a hot dog.
And he realizes where he's leaving, and he's leaving in a hurry. He's headed the way, and he's all pumped because he's going to get his best friend back, and Josh is coming home.
Yeah.
And then the girl comes out, and she hears him yelling, and they have a moment where he says, you know, like his family misses him. He's coming home. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
Whatever. And she kind of realizes, which is not the way it would go in real life. She would totally have a mental break.
Yes.
But
like, how's this possible?
so she runs to the Seaside Park, and it's already too late. He's put the quarter in. He's made the wish to be small again.
And the secret to it is you unplug Zoltar.
Right, and you got to get
That's it.
smalled.
Yes. To get smalled, you have to unplug
Yeah.
him or anything. To get the wish you
Benny
actually want, you got to
the
unplug it.
Jet has to do it.
Right, exactly.
My question is to be like, I would have kept 2 quarters. To be like, get smalled, $1 million.
Well, he asked. He said, "Do you want to come with me?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, it's hard enough the first time. You know what I'm talking about." And she's like, "Oh, wait, no, you don't."
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, then what he's gonna do? Like, you want to come come with me? Live with my parents?
it's like
And my
chunk.
little sister in my room.
Yeah, because we only have one room.
It's like
And Billy's family is like right next door, and they
Yeah.
hate each other. I don't think that's in. I think it's in the extended edition where the mother is like reaming them out,
oh yeah,
like Billy's family.
Billy's family.
They're basically
yeah.
telling them how crappy they are.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so I
My
do
son
everything.
My son came in a damn layup.
Spends all his time singing about Down Down Baby.
Yeah, the golden retriever replaced him.
Yeah, that's why we had to move away from Seattle.
Doesn't even have a dead dad.
That's why we had to
Dad's
leave
right
Seattle.
there.
Dad's not dead.
He's right at the table.
He's just an alcoholic.
Probably.
I do my part.
But it was the mom that they used was the mom from Flight of the Navigator.
Oh, nice.
Is that the mom? Oh,
You don't see her.
Oh, you don't see her.
You don't see her because it's in the extended edition.
Now I gotta watch that now. But I was like, it's funny because he was sloth, you know, in chunk. He was chunking her in that way. He's like, you live with me.
You live with me
was
now.
I'll take
He
care
was
of you.
chunking
He was
her?
chunking
That
her.
sounds
He's
horrible.
sloth. You live with me.
You know a
now.
part that we didn't talk about? When you said that he took her out to dinner, it's behind you right now. But I love that scene where the old dude is like throwing the like
Oh,
doughs
the old
and he's
Italian
catching
guy,
his-
yeah.
Just that's super funny.
They
There
have
was-
the big cake, and he's like, "Oh,
Yeah. They used to do some stuff like that at Big Cheese. The guys behind the back, I remember when I was a kid, would be like, "Go stand over there," and they would like get a little bit of dough. They would chuck it at you and be like, "Good catch, yay!" You know, hang out.
give back."
Yeah. All right, give it back. I need to roll that in. Yep. Good as new. Good as new. Big Cheese, delicious.
But yeah, so then she takes him to New Jersey. Where
She drives him home.
She's like, "Okay, I'll take you home then."
And he's still big. He's
Mm-hmm.
still big.
he's still normal.
Yeah.
Still in the suit.
They drive. She drives him, and he lives on a beautiful street, like the fall flowers, and everything's gorgeous.
Really upselling New Jersey here. I'm sure there's nice parts. There's nice parts everywhere.
of course.
Just not where I went.
But
Welcome
there's
to
like
Hoboken.
the kids playing in the piles of leaves, and he's just got the misty eyes, thinking about how he's gonna go home and
Yeah.
everything.
Gonna play for the
Yeah.
Dukes. He's gonna
They-
get a little Jay.
They have a nice
Buried
moment
on Bay.
where they talk about how he really does love her, and
Yeah.
There's only
basically
one
he
reason
says,
to stay big.
yeah, basically he says like, "You're the only reason that I was thinking of staying, and
really
I love
heartfelt.
you." And yeah, it is. It's
really
great. It's a
beautiful.
great scene.
Yeah.
It's a really great scene. And then it gets really creepy because he gets out of the car and he starts walking away, and she's watching him, and then he's a small child.
And she's still like, I tapped that.
And she's like, "I'm gonna throw up in my mouth a little bit."
Past tense.
That's
Tapped.
where she gets out of her car and hurls.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's how it
deleted
should
That's
scene.
where, that's where,
the one you
that's
don't
where
get.
she drives right off of that pier.
just
With the Zoltan machine. There's
Listen,
just slides it in
Zoltar.
drive.
I said Zoltan. I knew it was gonna happen.
yeah.
From Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah,
well.
she just sits there,
Well.
slides it into drive,
Can't
and
harm-
just takes
can't
her
harm you
foot
for that.
off the brake,
Yeah.
lets that baby coast
No.
into the ocean.
either that or she It's like a tube, and she just puts the tube in the window.
She Office Space himself. She Office Space.
Just like, well,
Or what? Or she Bueller's. She Bueller's that puts the car, that puts a foot like a big stone on the gas pedal, locks herself in the trunk, just calls it a night. All right, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, dude. Because she is at the end. She's like, well, how old are you? Like 17, 15? Like maybe maybe a couple of years you can come find me. Because she's like 28, I think, in this movie, 28 or 30, something
13.
like that. And she's like, no, 13. She's like, shit.
Yeah. So much for that idea.
Listen, when you tell your mom about this experience, don't share that part. She'll be like, oh, what?
She's gonna have to come up with like the Happy Gilmore excuses when people ask where he is. Like, oh, he fell off a cliff. He's dead.
100%.
Forgot about that. Oh man. So out of this great movie, you need to watch it. You need to see it. But out of this, I want either a prequel where we find out how Zoltar came to be, or Zoltar. Zoltan, that's right. Zoltan. Or we get Big 2, the beginning or something.
The
Smallsing.
Big.
Yeah.
Again.
Bigoted. Bigoted.
No.
Oh, wait, no, not that one. No.
That would be a prequel.
Where we get Tom Hanks runs into Susan as both adults now, and they're like,
she's 90.
holy shit.
Either that, or you just make it so where like he was 16
Yeah.
and he hates his parents and his life, and he's just like,
I want to go back.
where the hell is Zoltar?
Where do they keep that
gone.
thing?
With a guitar riff in the background.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fun fact, this movie did so well at the box office. It was up against a bunch of other, like there was 2 or 3 other movies about people changing ages and switching bodies. And
Oh, really?
So they were kind of worried
Freaky
about
Friday?
it.
13 going on 30?
No,
It's basically bigoted.
it's just movies you haven't heard of.
Yeah,
because
big again.
it did over $100 million at the box office, which was the first movie directed by a woman either first movie or first comedy directed by a woman to do over $100 million.
Crazy, dude. Yeah. That's amazing.
Which was pretty cool. And originally they wanted Ann Spielberg's brother, good old Steven, to come in and direct, but he was on board to do Hook.
Yeah.
And then his son Max was born, which is really funny. I never caught this in Back to the Future 2 when the shark is like coming out of the thing in the future.
Yeah.
It says I think it's like Jaws 19, directed by Max Spielberg.
Max Spielberg, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it was, early 90s was rough for him because you're right, it was Hook, and then it was Schindler's with Jurassic Park. And
Jurassic Park's
did he do Gump?
Sat alone on a bench in the park.
Yeah.
His name's Forrest. He casually remarks.
Yeah.
Waiting for the bus with his hands in his pockets. He just kept saying life is like a box of chocolates. He's Gump. He's Gump.
What's in his head?
He's Gump. He's Gump. Oh, man, dude. That
Is
whole
he
Running with Scissors.
inbred?
Bang.
I can sing pretty much the whole song. So let's stop.
I could do a lot of Running with Scissors from Weird Al.
No, but that one's from Bad Hair Day.
But that one's from Bad Hair Day. Which
Bad
also
Hair
had,
Day is the where it's at.
Bad Hair Day also had Amish Paradise. Yeah.
Yep.
Been spending most
And
of
the,
Coolio got really upset about that.
living
And then
in
realized
Amish.
later on in life what an idiot he was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, because that
Eminem
only
did-
would have made his song more popular.
Eminem did not care when
he did.
Dude, it's a huge-
White and Nerdy.
yeah,
It's a
no,
huge
that was
honor.
Chameleonaire.
Oh, it's familiar.
Millionaire. Trying to catch me white and nerdy.
Yeah, go watch it. Check it out. Worth it.
Oh yeah,
Love
Big's
it.
still a great movie.
So good.
And let's
Thumbs way, way up for our
fingers
lead,
crossed that Tom Hanks doesn't get tarnished.
It's
gonna ruin a lot of things.
He's like America's father.
It's gonna ruin a lot of stuff.
That would suck.
Hey, Woody.
Where'd you go?
Where'd
Oh
you
my
go?
God. All right. Until next time, check us out on nostalgialand.podcast
Instagram.
on Instagram and
Where can they get
social
the merch?
medias. Nostalgialandpodcast.com
Boom.
and Nostalgialand shop
On
on
Etsy.
Etsy. Sweet. Wow. I was peeing into the wind right there. I can't believe that happened. But thanks so much for joining us every time, every week. Those of you who listen all the time, we really, really appreciate you. Those of you who can only make it in every once in a while, come on, listen more regularly. We love you guys so much,
Get your
and we
booties
do
in
this
here.
for y'all as much as we do it for us. Please go on any of our platforms and comment. Give us your thoughts, your ideas, what you like, what you don't like. We always want to make things better for you guys and for us. More enjoyable to listen to, better for you guys. You can check out the video now on Spotify most of the time. It's up there. Sorry about the late release last week. We had some issues with Spotify that they
weird.
helped us out with, and we got it up. Thanks
came
to
through.
Matt and Matt's hard work for the show being on the air at all. Trey and I just come in and run our mouths.
I'm just here for the funnies.
That's right. I'm just here to drink Sunny D vodka seltzers and have a good time. But seriously, we thank you guys. We love you guys. And until next time,
I'm Matt.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Tyler. Cowbunga.